to start this. Been away for about a month. We had a bereavement in our family. My father took his own life a month ago. Came as a big shock to all of us. And there are going to be a lot of tears, a lot more emotion. My wife is crying like mad behind the camera. She always films me doing these, and I'm about to break down as well. I thought the ideal way for me to get through this in a cathartic way is because cooking has always been, it's my passion, it's my heart. And I cook when I feel sad, I cook when I feel happy, and I just thought it's the best way to let my grief out is to cook his chili. It is a car crash of a recipe. It's full of nitrates, preservatives. There's a couple of steps that I'm going to do that he wouldn't have done. He made it every Friday night, and it was his own recipe, and I'm trying to assimilate what he did. So, hello from Chateau Crowley this week, but today is more of a somber mood, and I don't really know what more to say, but let's just go through the ingredients and start cooking, and we'll get through it anyway. Okay. I'm pretty sure he used to dump the Brussels sprouts and the new potatoes into the chilli and let them cook out and just boil the hell out of them. We're not going to do that because I've got to eat it. So I'm going to chuck these into a cast iron skillet. I'm going to put them in the oven at 400 degrees, about 20 to 30 minutes until they're toasty, and then 15 minutes before the end the chilli's cooked, we're going to throw them in. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm going to put these Brussels sprouts, big bowl of Brussels sprouts just there, into here, and these spuds, these new spuds, sorry, it's a bit cramped in our little kitchen. These little spuds in here, I'm going to chuck a bit of salt in. Just reach behind me, move my glasses, I'm sorry, we are not as professional as we should be at the moment. A bit of salt, and a couple of turns of pepper. And I'm going to give them a quick mix around that oil. So I said the oven is preheated to about 400 degrees. These are going to roast. So I'm going to put these in. So they go in there. Take them out once they've got a bit of golden colour on them. I know my dad never did this because he just liked to chuck it all in one pan and get on with it. But I'm hoping we're going to enjoy a nitrate-rich meal in a moment. In this pan we have some chopped onions and some olive oil, and I'm going to give it a stir. The heat's on, and what we're going to do is we want to brown this beef off. I'm not even going to drain the oil out of this beef. Dad never did it. I would actually drain the oil out of it. It is a 93%, 93. Was it 90? Sorry, my brain is a bit of a
It's okay.
It's 90-10 lean, that beef. so there should be very little fat in it, so I'm not going to worry about draining it. Dad used to buy the cheapest, crappiest beef, and he always would do that, even with eggs. He would never buy cage-free eggs, though I bugged him so much. He must have really hated me at one point because I said, I cannot eat those caged eggs. I'm going to brown it. Those are onions in there. You never chuck garlic in there, although I would love to chuck a whacking great handful of garlic in here. This was his Friday night. He'd come home from work, chuck it all in a pan, leave for a couple of hours, and it'd be ready. So he'd get home at 5, and by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock he'd have a meal. And he loved it every single time. And it's just his recipe. It's just, I keep saying nitrates and crap, but it is. It really is. It really is. I never thought in a million years, that I'd be dumping baked beans into a chilli, but we've done it. Here's a can of tomatoes. Good Lord, look at that. Chilli powder. I don't know how much he put in. He didn't like it too hot, but I'm going to go with that much. That's a hot one. Yeah. My God, the cook's best friend, ketchup. Yeah. I don't care. Whack it in. Look at that. Load of ketchup.
God.
I'm using this because I have no Worcester sauce. Splash of aminos. God Almighty, can you believe it? I'm using instant gravy granules instead of making my stock. Now, this stuff is amazing. It thickens, it's gelatinous, it does everything you want for a Sunday dinner. Should it be put in chilli? Not sure. But I tell you what, a couple of teaspoons of that as well. And then we're going to add some water. I can't believe I'm making this and showing this because this is actually, thank you Dad, because actually it's kind of a unique recipe and I think people might actually like it at the end. People might like this recipe, I don't know, it's easy. About a cup of water, give that a mix and just let that sit on the stove for, I don't know, how long does it take to boil the hell out of something? I don't know. Yeah, just let it cook out, there's no time. Just the longer it cooks, the better it gets, I'm assuming. Man, I tell you about cooking at Christmas. We would do like a split shift. I'd go to bed early and wake up probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, put the turkey in the oven and start cooking it. I'm talking about a 20-30 pound turkey here that barely fit in the oven. I do all the meat aspect of it. And we'd swap over. So I'd walk up the stairs, bleary-eyed, going to bed, cross on the stairs, and he'd be downstairs doing the veg and peeling it all and doing all the veg work. And then I'd go to sleep for a few hours, and then I'd come downstairs around 9 or 10 o'clock, and then I'd make breakfast. And we didn't really want a huge breakfast because at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the only time in life you're going to eat at that time, a big meal's going to be Christmas, right? He'd always open up a bottle of chilled Veuve Clicquot champagne, or Bollinger. Bollinger was his favourite, yeah? And we'd sit there and have a couple of glasses. We'd actually finish the bottle between us, 3 glasses each, a Bollinger, and have a nice breakfast, and then we'd get on with the rest of the day and cook and do all of that. And that is what we used to do as our ritual every Christmas. And then I'd probably pass out around 3 o'clock because I drank too much. But that's another story. But it's, you know, it's.
ever get depressed, Ed?
I've been questioned. There have been times in my life I have been. I think we all have. I think we've all been depressed, and I think that if I'm honest, us guys need to speak about it more. And I felt personally ashamed that I was feeling melancholic, and I was feeling like the end of the world would come, and I wasn't good enough, and I still have parts of those feelings.
You are good enough.
It's nice to hear my wife say that behind the camera. Obviously they heard that, but people need to speak up, not be ashamed of how they feel, and
Normalize depression.
that's a good way of putting it. Actually, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Normalising depression.
Mm-hmm.
Depression affects us all in some way, shape or form. It does, and there are extremes. So anyway, this is Dad's Brussels sprout, new potato chilli. Actually, it looks pretty appetising if I'm honest. Cooking for me has always been a creative outlet. It's something that I've done when I'm angry, when I'm sad, when I'm depressed, when I'm wanting to show love to the world. It's just something that I do, and I believe that all cooks feel the same way. It's a nourishing, healing activity that you can participate in that basically shows you care for somebody. This chilli was a way of my dad showing that he cared for me. He would make it when he knew I was coming home. You may laugh at what is in it, putting Brussels sprouts, new potatoes, cans of beans, instant gravy powder and all that, but it was his way of showing me that he cared. Way of showing me that he wanted me home and was happy that I was home. But no men think it's worthy of talking about, and they are ashamed of talking about it, and I think that's kind of an important point. If we all talk about it more and talk about our feelings more, perhaps this won't happen. Do not let it bottle up inside of you. Just find a way to talk to somebody and to communicate how you're feeling, because there's help out there. There's help out there for everybody. So hopefully we'll see you next week without any tears. Stay happy, stay safe and stay sane. From Chateau Crowley.